Origi! Yeah! He's doing it! Yeah! Unbelievable!
Hello and welcome to the Liverpool Way podcast. We're recording this just after a pulsating 1-1 draw with Man City at Anfield. The lads produced a brilliant performance that deserved more than just a point, but not for the first time this season. Michael Oliver was the hero for City. I'm Dave Usher, editor at liverpoolway.co.uk, and with me for this one I've got John Gallagher and Paul Natton. So Paul, when me and John were coming out the ground, John said to me that this is after the game. He said he's fine with a point. He said before the game he would happily take a point at half time. Obviously, you know, you'd take a point then. What about you? How are you feeling about the point?
I mean, logically, you can't deny, you know, a point against City at this stage of the season with, you know, the state of our team was before the game, you know, the availability of players, what have you. You can't deny that it is a good point. And I don't think it's ever a bad point unless it's the deciding game of the season, you know what I mean? If it totally kills your season. So it can never really be a bad point unless the circumstances are exceptional. But I feel deflated. I definitely feel deflated. Like, I just think, you know, I thought we'd win today because I thought what did happen would happen in the players would be inspired by Klopp, and the crowd would get right behind them. Klopp would do what he always does, which is find a way, and he would lift them and they'd punch well above their weight, and we'd end up being the better team on the day. And also, what also happened is, I think the City players would get have moments in the game where they get a little bit overawed and where it's all running away from them a little bit. And I think that did happen in the second half at times, particularly around Bernardo Silva's yellow card. I think he was losing his head a little bit. Rodri was the same. It was all getting away from them a little bit, and the crowd were getting to them, and all of those things we expect them. Well, that makes it sound like you take it for granted, and we shouldn't look at that as something that we can expect, even though it happens almost every single time. It's a measure of just how incredible Klopp is, that he can have that impact on our players. I said to Eddie, who sits next to me, excuse me, that I felt that we'd I've totally lost my train of thought. Fucking hell, 53 on Tuesday, and I can't fucking remember one sentence to the next. That's absolutely incredible.
Before we came on, you were saying about Tottenham beating Villa 4-0 yesterday. I was like, wasn't yesterday? It was an hour before our game.
we had it on in the fucking pub. Jesus Christ! Oh, it's so embarrassing. Oh fucking man, that's ridiculous. Yeah, I just felt a little bit deflated by it really, because I just thought we could do so much better. In terms of the result, we couldn't do any better in terms of the performance. There's so much to be proud of and to be excited about in that performance today. It wasn't perfect. I mean, I said at half time, I felt everybody, all our players at half time had a good game, or some of them even better, without one of them really putting a proper stamp on the game. It needed somebody to put a stamp on the game, and that didn't quite happen. But I thought we were by far the better team in the second half, and it was probably 50-50 in the first half.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we can dismiss, you know, the fact that they hit the post, but I just thought and the bar, yeah. But I just thought we played some really good stuff. We had some really good chances. So I feel a bit deflated, but in my head I know that John's right. You know, that it is a you know, it's a decent point, and there's a long way to go. You know, 10 games to go, 30 points to play for. It's all to play for. There's nothing even nearly decided at the moment. So yeah, I'll remember my point as well, by the way. Now, when what I said to Eddie, excuse me, is I think time and time again over the years under Klopp, we've had times where there's like a depleted team, where we haven't got all the players available, and we all feel a little bit like trepidatious about, are we going to get the result that we want? Are we going to get the performance that we want? We've got big guns missing, and he always finds a way to lift the players and to lift the crowd, and we punch above our weight, and that happened today. That absolutely happened today. Yeah. I thought it was just so many players were absolutely brilliant, but then, yeah, I just can't escape that deflation. That sense that, you know, particularly that Diaz chance where Mo played him through. Yeah. There was the other one where if he'd hit it first time, but that wasn't so good a chance. Dom with the header, the fluffed header in the first half. But particularly the Diaz chance, I thought that was the one. And when that didn't go in, I thought, it's not going to be our day. I just thought we deserved it. I didn't get, and I know we'll talk about this in detail, I didn't really see the penalty incident right at the death very well. And so I wasn't really wrapped up coming away from the game in the injustice of that. Having now seen it, it's obviously absolute fucking bullshit. But yeah, a point is fine. I just wish it had been 3 because I think we deserved it.
Yeah, I mean, John, have you got anything to add to what you said when we were coming out the grounds? Now you've had a bit more time to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, Paul's saying he felt like a bit deflated. My overriding emotion was just relief. It was like, like you're all taut and your shoulders are all hunched up throughout the game.
Yeah.
It just felt like when the final whistle went, and you just like breathe a big sigh of relief, like just breathe and just like relax for a minute or two. It was like, so intense. The performance was like really good. Very proud of the players. As Paul said, I was banging the drum. I took a draw all day long before the game. Basically, based on past experiences with City, where we've been the chasing team going into the home straight, if you like, we've been a point behind. So that point ahead still could be huge in the context of the season. In terms of the injuries we had today, as Paul said, it's like, this side never lets you down when you think they could be bang up against it. They always find a way to eke something out. We should have won the game, but we could have lost it. So I'm feeling quite philosophical about it.
Yeah.
And I'm more than happy. Well, not more than happy, but I'm happy with the point, even though it should have been all 3, which would have meant them needing 2 games to claw us back rather than just the one. They've still got to rely on us to slip up at some point. It's in our own hands, like it was prior to kick-off. I know Arsenal are top of the league, and it's in their hands as well, if you like. But City have still got to better one of our results at some point. So yeah, it's as you were. I'm quite happy with it, and yeah, the performance overall, second half was just like relentless pressure. Just back to front. Thought everyone played well. Thought Gomez started a bit iffy. Thought he grew into the game though, and once he went to full back, right back, in the second half, and he has a couple of bursts, in the midfield role. Carried the ball quite well a couple of times, got us up the pitch even more so. Just overall, every player can be proud of the performance in what was, a pressure game, if you like, and they've stood up to it as you'd expect them to do because, it's just what we do, isn't it? It's been proved time and time again.
Yeah, I mean, all the players that we had missing, and they've just swaggered in basically full strength, apart from Grealish, who can't get in the team anyway. And we've absolutely fucking battered them in that second half.
Yeah.
Now, the weird thing is like we could have lost it because they've had like 2, maybe 3, because there was the one with Queeve saved from Foden. So they've had like 3 really like great opportunities where like they've almost scored. And yet it felt like those 3 opportunities were just isolated, random, totally against the run of play events. And the rest of the half, we just dominated them. I'm not sure I remember us like dominating them like that for such a long spell. Like when we've had big wins against them, and a lot of the time the damage has been done in like 15 minutes where we've just blown them away. And I really felt like that we could have done that today. After we got the goal, the next 10-15 minutes there, that spell, they were wobbling, the heads were going, we were totally on top of them. If we'd have got like the second goal in, I think we could have got like a third and maybe a fourth, but it didn't come. And we still carried on dominating the game, but City got a little bit of composure back. They didn't really do too much, they weren't on the ball much, and when they were, we were in the faces, just pressing, winning it back. So before the game, I wouldn't have settled for a point. At half time, I might have done, but I was still thinking no, because if you're going to win the league against Man City, I feel like you've got to take 4 points from them minimum. At the end of the season, you probably look back on that, and you finish like a point or 2 behind them, and you're like, well, if we'd have beaten them ourselves rather than having to rely on somebody else to do it. That's the difference. But I don't think we could have done any more than we did today. You know, we've deserved to win that game. We could have lost it, but if we had lost it, it would have been an absolute daylight robbery, because we deserved to win the game. We were like comfortably the better team in the second half. First half, as you said, Paul, I thought it was 50-50 too. I didn't think there was much in it. And at the end, you come away and you think, what could have been really? You know, with all of the chances that we had, and we just couldn't put one away. But at the same time, we've come out of the match and we are still above them. So,
did you see the stats on those? On what you're just saying there about the domination there, Dave? So
no.
I think the XG, ours, this is from memory, ours is about 2.6 something other, which is really high. Theirs was about 1.2, 1.3. They faced the most shots they've faced, I think, did it say in the Premier League? The Guardiola's faced in the Premier League in a half of football in the second half against us. I think there was 11 shots in the second half that they faced. So we really did dominate them in that second half. And I think, you know, just that point I made before, again, and you alluded to there, they were rattled.
Yeah,
they can't cope with the emotion of it all when it's the intensity, the emotional intensity and the physical intensity, because they're used to control. I mean, that's why he brought Kovacic on, isn't it?
Yeah,
because he wanted him on the ball. He wanted to keep hold of the ball a little bit more, because he knew that it was just running away from them. I agree with you, Dave. I think Jules said it actually when we just walking back to, I'm pretty sure he did, walking back to the cars. Jules had said if that Diaz one had gone in, we'd have probably got another one or even two.
Yeah.
Because the tide would have just swept them away. I think at that stage, I think the atmosphere would have gone up another notch, and our players would have responded, and their players would have crumbled. I think some of their heads were just starting to fall off, and if we got one, I mean, I think Silva was walking a tightrope really when he was on that yellow. I think
agree.
He was.
But you know what though, Paul? I said to John at the time, like when Silva had lost his head, and I said to John, I was like, we could get him sent off here. Just someone needs to just wind him up, take a booking, you know, so you both get booked, and he's off. We could have really like got in his head, because he's a hothead, and he hates us. He proper fucking hates us. We could have really like just got him going there, and no one really tried. And when Robbo came on, they actually put him on the right wing against Robbo, and I thought, Robbo, he'll do something, you know, there'll be a flare up between them, and, you know, we could maybe get him sent off, but nothing came of it, which is frustrating, because we could have got him sent off today easily.
Robbo's the Dave Usher of the Liverpool team, isn't he? It's like it'd be like you against Monty. The group chat. Robbo against Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, he is the wind-up merchant, no doubt about it. But he didn't do it today, and it was a bit frustrating, because I think there was an opportunity there because his head had gone. Then again, I mean, Michael Oliver would have probably just let him carry on doing what he wanted. Yeah. So, you know, there is that. Not gonna talk about the penalty just yet. We'll get to that later. But so first half, I didn't really like the first 5-10 minutes. I felt like we hadn't settled, and they'd settled quicker than us. And there was like two opportunities where they were De Bruyne. I think it was 4 minutes, wasn't it, John? I said we've been playing 4 minutes, and twice De Bruyne's found himself in like space running at us, and nobody's picked him up. And like that was setting alarm bells off, because the one thing you don't want to have is De Bruyne running with the ball, and then he's looking for a cross or a pass, and it's like, how's that happening? So whatever it was we were doing at that point, we figured it out, because that didn't really happen too much after that, and we grew into that half. But giving a goal away from a set piece just feels like, you know, City had chances and they were playing good football, and if one of those goes in, you're just like, yeah, you know, typical City, that's what they can do to you. But when you give away a goal from a corner like that, it's like, oh, fucking hell. You know, it just feels like a freebie, doesn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was a good goal, to be honest. When
it is seeing it back, but it's still I
don't think anyone's at fault. I've started to reflect a little bit on. I mean, Arsenal have clearly doing something. Arsenal have clearly massively improved on set pieces, and they're doing stuff which I think is really effective and really good and quite different. And it looks to me like Guardiola's
they're playing like an NFL game.
Yeah, it looks like Guardiola's like responded
for them.
Guardiola's kind of responded to the Arsenal challenge a little bit by putting one of his coaches on to being more innovative, and I think we saw an example of that today. And I think by, you know, in contrast, I don't think we are. We had a spell of a couple of corners, and it's just the same old ball. You know, we're going to attack it in the air, and I think we just need to change it up a little bit. I mean, that wasn't a factor in the result today. I think, you know, our ability in situations like that. But I thought I didn't have an issue with our defending for that goal. What about you, John? Did you think we were at fault, or I just thought it was a good goal?
I was saying to Dave at half time, I wonder if that's something that when they've studied how we defend like corners and what have you, if that's something that they've seen that we do. Like low ball into the near post. I'm not too sure. Obviously, more technical people than me would know more about that type of stuff. But yeah, it was. I mean, it's brilliant like ball in by De Bruyne. The Endo was like blocked off slightly, wasn't he? By
Maka.
Maka was it? Sorry,
Ake just
blocked Maka off. Yeah,
but I didn't have a problem with that. Did you? I thought it was Maka's just got to be stronger. It's just all part of the
borderline. You're not going to get a foul for that. It's clever from them.
But when you see what happened in the League Cup final a couple of weeks ago, I mean,
that was offside though. That's slightly different. It wasn't. They didn't give the foul for the block by Endo. It was because Endo was in an offside position when he blocked him. So that's the difference. Because there was people talking about that, comparing the two, but it's like it's apples and oranges. Van Dijk's goal wasn't disallowed because of a block. It was an offside player blocking, whereas
technical offside it was called though, wasn't
it? That today with Ake, he's just stopped Mac Allister going for the ball. He's just got in the way and blocked him off. You're not going to get anything.
Well, obviously, De Bruyne can do that, can't he? He can come up for like moments like that. Got to take your hat off it. It's well worth that. Come off what they tried and.
What did you think about Gallagher? I thought at the time, that's got to be on the keeper. Watching it back, I don't.
I agree.
No, not at all. Yeah, I mean,
he almost gets to it. He almost makes himself big.
Yeah, like
he sees it before anyone else, doesn't he? He reads the situation.
Yeah.
Very unlucky with it, but yeah, at the same time, it was a well-worked corner and well taken goal. So just got to hold our hands up there.
So we had chances ourselves, didn't we? There was Dom's header that was probably the best chance we had. Do you reckon? Lovely ball in by Harvey.
Yeah, had to hit the target though.
Yeah, it was a poor header.
Yeah. It looked like Diaz just like timed his jump slightly wrong, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. He almost like having to lean back a little bit as he connected. Yeah. He'd just gone a bit too early.
Well, when he scored that header the other week, I can't remember who it was against, obviously. I don't remember.
The one that like Bradley stuck on his head.
Yeah, was it Chelsea? Yeah, it was Chelsea.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So that when he scored that, he said something after the game. I don't know if he was joking, but he said it's like the first header of his career or something.
And he said the ball was so perfect, he didn't have to do anything other than just leave his head there, and it just pinged off his head.
Yeah, because you think he's a big physical specimen. He makes those runs into the box. You think he'd be good at that. But maybe that's a weakness. I don't know. But that was a poor header.
I thought Diaz should have done a little bit better on that chance he had.
Which one? The one on the edge of the box when he jinked and
he just stuck it on the wrong side of the post, and I just thought he had a little. He'd done well to work the space for himself, but I just thought he just needs to be a little bit more composed in his finishing, and I think that was a theme
Diaz,
from him.
That wasn't it? That's why he's so good at when he first signed, just like coming in, working a yard of space. He scored a few like that for us.
Palace in the game, Darwin got sent off.
Tottenham as well, remember, the first season he signed.
He was fucking brilliant today, apart from his finishing. I thought he was just really
Do you know
electric,
what I thought, Paul?
He?
I thought of you, actually, because the thing that you always level at him, and you always make the Mane comparison, say, he's like Sadio was a warrior, and Diaz was a fucking warrior today.
Yeah, I agree.
The finishing wasn't there, but
no.
The way he got stronger as the game went on as well, I thought, he's going to start to tire a little bit now, and he didn't. He just... I said to John, it was as though, right from the start of the game, Diaz was like, I don't give a fuck how fast you are, Kyle Walker. I'm fucking running at you all day, and I'm not.
What about when he rinsed Walker and Rodri later on? Fucking hell!
But he was doing that kind of thing all game. At no point was he loads of wingers are just intimidated by Walker. You think, what's the point? If I go past him, he's just going to get back at me anyway. What's the point? I'm not even going to try. Diaz just looked like he'd made a point of it. This was like the Diaz who first signed for us, and he just had that street fighter in him, just that your South American Suarez type thing, where just fucking relentless, give me the ball, I'm going to do something. And he was like that today, and it's not happened for him with the finishing, and I just feel bad for him because he deserved the goal for the way he played. Just fucking relentless, from start to finish. I just thought we didn't didn't get him the ball enough in the first half, because I thought he looked like he was really
Agreed.
at it, and he was going to do something, but we didn't get him the ball as much as we could have done. And in the second half, he got a lot of the ball, and yeah, I thought he was brilliant. Just got to score the one when Mo puts him in, but
I mean, what a ball by Mo as well.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I think Mo had only been on the pitch about a minute or 2 minutes, hadn't he, when he played that ball?
He'd only just come on when he done that, yeah.
I think it was the only good thing Mo did when he come on, to be fair. He was quite erratic, I thought, with a lot of...
The decision
the other
making was
things
the
he
thing
did,
for me.
Yeah.
You know, like, you'd always complain about Mo cutting in and on his left foot and when he shouldn't be. And then twice today, it's like, no, this is the time when you should be cutting in, and instead you've used your right foot.
It was that one where he crossed it and like low down, the keeper just like smothered it, I think, didn't he? But yeah, if he had time there as well to take a touch, and maybe just cut back and get a shot away. We had a couple of yards of space to do that, if I remember rightly. But
it kind of just summed up the second half, though. It was just nearly. It was so many really good situations that like we could have scored, but just not quite. Like either the finish wasn't right or it was the wrong option. But we'd done so well to create those situations, and we just had them like penned in their own half. And the thing with City is like they play so high up. There's loads of space in behind them, but it just doesn't get exploited enough. Generally because like teams have not got the ball in the right areas where you can do it. And it was a bit like that in the first half. Darwin kept getting caught offside, but like he's playing on the shoulder and he's trying to get in, and there's a few times like he's made a run and no one's played the ball, and it's like, oh, it's on. I kept saying to you, didn't I, John? This is on. It's on. Like, we
were looking for it as well, though, Dave. Queeve was looking for him, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, Queeve was hitting like long balls up, and he was doing well, getting flick-ons, and Diaz was like anticipating them and that. So that looked like a potential, like, because they were just leaving like 1v1 at the back. It's not like we had a back four to deal with in those situations. There was loads of space, and just the final ball wasn't there, or when it was, Darwin had gone a bit too early and he was getting called offside and that. But I thought like at half time, there's loads of like potential there that for us to have done something in that half, and we've gone in 1-0 down. And the big fear for me was like they just looked like they had another goal in them. And as it's turned out, the second half, they could easily have scored, but not the way I thought. Like the first half, it was like slick, couple of passes, and then the through us, and you're like, oh, fucking hell. It wasn't really like that in the second half. We played so well to stop it.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
even then, it was only when Doku come on that they looked like even remotely threatening. Because we had that 20-25 minute spell where they hardly got a kick.
Before that sub, they weren't doing anything, were they?
No, yeah.
We just want to come back on Darwin there. I mean, I really felt all week it was going to be a big game for him. I really did, and I thought I'll come back to talk about Macca in a second because he was just incredible today. I thought the Macca-Darwin axis, that thing we've been looking for all season. As good as Macca was in the 6, he's something else as the 8. Fucking hell. And the way City play, with the way Darwin plays, I thought it was so ripe for exploitation today and for Darwin to fill his boots. So in that regard, I was frustrated with the offsides. It's not good enough. He's got to be. I don't mind the odd one. It's some of them were just daft. But I don't really want to dwell on that. I just want to come back to the point made earlier. I don't know if we said this on the pod, Dave, or it was just chatting in the group chat, where I sort of clarified my view of that whole idea about Darwin causing chaos, because I think loads of people have been calling this chaos merchant. I'm not, pundits and the wider media
talking like he's Ronnie Rosenthal.
Yeah,
it's
and when I talk about like it's chaos because he doesn't know what he's going to do, and so no one knows. That's not it at all for me. When I think about Darwin causing chaos, is he just fucking terrifies defenders.
Yeah.
They're so intimidated by him because he's fast, he's strong, he's direct, he's relentless, he shoot from anywhere. And I think we saw elements of that today. Those City defenders were very, very worried by him. And I think that's one of the reasons why I was so frustrated that he didn't quite get the runs right, because I just thought it was definitely one to exploit. Macca, though, fucking hell.
Yeah.
So when we signed him, I think everyone knew he was a good player, didn't they? That's obvious. I didn't realise he was this good. He's a serious footballer. I didn't watch any of the World Cup. Not interested in international football of any sort. Didn't watch the final. Didn't watch any of it. Just not asked. But I kind of had this. I'd picked up a little vibe, a little hint from like various things I'd read and heard about the final. Really in many ways, I'm not saying Messi carried them, but it was Messi's win, and Mac Allister was just a cog in the machine. And so that was probably in my thinking as well. I'm seeing him now. He is absolutely top class. He's so fucking clever. His movements is sensational. His touch is unbelievable. His awareness, but he's also a put his foot in player as well. Yeah. He's got that South American bit of snide. He's physical. He's strong. He'll lay his body on the line. He was absolutely brilliant today. And in actual fact, Endo really the other side of the same coin. Endo and Maka are starting to look like two absolutely nailed on components of that midfield, and they both offer similar levels of performance. I thought today, slightly different versions of each other, but both very, very strong, very physical, very clever, very aware, and both very front foot orientated. And I just thought both of those two today deserved the win. I thought there were a couple of others as well in the mix as well. You know, we've already mentioned Diaz. John mentioned Joe Gomez. Though Virgil and Quansah were brilliant. But I thought those two in the midfield were instrumental. And in fact, I think
Harvey when he went in as well.
Yeah, I think after that first whirlwind 10 minutes when we pulled the initiative back in the first half, it was because Maka and Endo got into the game, and then a bit later on, Harvey got more into the game as he dropped in when Dom went off. Frustrations around the fact that we didn't make that link up with Darwin work, but so many big positives there with some of those players in the midfield. I mean, if you just think of the journey we've come on there, boys, in the midfield, just in less than 12 months, I mean, it's chalk and cheese. We've gone from an absolute shambles to what's looking to me like a world-class setup again. Well, they look that
City's
good.
main strength is controlling the ball in the midfield and, you know, dominating games. And our midfield today totally fucking bossed that game. Well, it's bossed the second half.
Yeah, it's like, you know, City, you know, you think about the experience and trophies they've got under in that midfield area. You know, Rodri, De Bruyne, you know, but it's like, you wouldn't have thought that today. You know, they've been there, 4, 5, 6 years or whatever. And, you know, that's 3 midfielders we've got in there today, you know, relatively speaking, you know, not even being at the club a year. And for them to play the way they did against, you know, best team in the country, or the champions, if you like, it's like staggering, and it's exciting as well.
Really exciting.
You know, because it's like they will get better as well. You know, you would think. You know, the sky's the limit, isn't it? You know, in the bigger picture.
It's Endo and Maka +1, isn't it? Really.
It is, yeah. It is.
And Dom was good today, I thought. His energy was off the scale.
But I think it was right that he was the one to come off. I think Dom. I thought he was of the 3. He was the lesser of the 3 by a mile.
Yeah. Plus, he was never going to play 90 minutes anyway. He's only just back. But I think that there was nothing to choose for me between Endo and Maka, but
Agreed.
Maka gets man of the match because of the penalty. Just how long he had to wait for it and to just dispatch it the way he did was ridiculous.
Brilliant, wasn't it?
But yeah, the two of them just absolutely incredible today.
Don't you think Harvey's really come on as well, though?
I thought Harvey was good in the first half.
Yeah,
but, you know, even better in the second.
The second half, he was great. But even playing in the front there in the first half, I thought he played well. I thought he looked lively. He was, you know, he was getting on the ball. He was using it well.
His first touch is unbelievable.
Mo's coming on at some point. We all knew that. But like I said to you, John, didn't I? I was like, I wouldn't take Harvey off. No. As much as I want Mo on in the front three, Harvey was playing well enough. I wanted him to still be on the pitch. And that's why, you know, probably Klopp waited to make the change when he did. When Dom's race was run, he came off, and you know Harvey's played so many minutes lately as well, and he was still fucking running himself ragged at the end of that game. I just can't speak highly enough of how he's been playing lately.
Do you know what I think he started to do? He started to understand because he has got some obvious physical limitations, hasn't he? Which he's working on his core strength. You can see he is he's much physically stronger than he was last season. You can see that already.
Yeah, the strength's not really an issue. It's the speed is
but
noticeable,
the pace,
but the strength isn't.
Well, those are the two for me, because I think some opponents have tried to bully him.
You can get around that by using your body well, though, can't
But
you?
what I think he's starting to do now is that point you just made there. I think he's now starting to understand how to apply his skill set to compensate for like maybe his lack of pace. He's so clever. His awareness is so good, and his touch is fucking sensational.
Yeah,
the way he can take any sort of ball and bring it under control with his first touch. He makes absolutely wild passes sometimes look fantastic. He's clever. That's the big thing, and ridiculously mature for his age, which is a bit of a theme with some of these young lads, isn't it? Now,
Quansah,
you think about Quansah's maturity. Bradley to a lesser extent. I thought Bradley. Do you remember that diagonal ball that Verge pinged out there to him, and I think he whipped it in for the Dom header, or
no, that
for
was Harvey played the cross for the Dom header.
So it was a diagonal ball. He whipped it across, and there was a good chance.
Oh, was this the one that went past Nunes and nearly got on the back post? Was it that?
That's it. Where Darwin hurt himself. Yeah. That's it, John. Yeah. I thought there we didn't look for Bradley enough.
I agree.
When I saw that, I thought he was getting. Yeah, we should have used him more. I didn't have a problem with him going off, just in terms of the maturity issue, and you want wiser heads on the pitch, and he wanted to bring Gomez into that midfield hybrid role. But I just thought first half we could have used him a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. And
he
I was surprised he went off.
Yeah,
he defended really well against what's his name, Alvarez. He was just really dogged, wasn't he? No, when it looks like someone's gone past him, he just gets back at them. He's got that habit of just getting back and
long stride and tenacious.
Yeah. No, I thought he was really good. I wouldn't have took him off, but that's not any kind of slight on Joe Gomez, because I mean, when he moved over to the right, I thought he was excellent. But I just felt like Bradley was giving us something. Just that outlet out wide. We just needed to use it a bit more. But I want to go back to the starting lineup, because we'd kind of suspected that this was going to happen, because like me, Chris and John B were talking about it the other night. Robbo playing 90 minutes in midweek was weird. Like when you've got Costas on the bench, and the only logical explanation for them doing that was they already had it in their heads that Gomez was playing left back against Foden today. They'd already decided that, so they played Robbo. But then Konate gets injured, and then you've got the option, well, do we now play Gomez in the middle, or do we stick to the original plan? And they stuck to the plan and brought Quansah in, which means Robbo's left on the bench. That's a fucking big call. Putting Quansah in against Haaland and leaving Robbo out of a game as big as this, that's a really, really big call.
4 of the first choice 5 defence not playing today.
I mean, and Klopp's just so relaxed about it all. Like afterwards, he's laughing and he's going, how many people will have been saying, oh, Quansah against Haaland today? And of course, people are saying that. We were saying it. It's got to be like a concern. And it just wasn't. Like Quansah had like one bad moment in the whole game, which was partly on Virgil anyway, giving him a ball that he probably shouldn't have gave him. Now, it's not Virgil's fault that Quansah then tries to fucking Cruyff turn his way past someone and loses the ball. But that was like literally the only thing he did wrong in the whole game. It was like, I said, didn't I? He puts in the same performance every game. Every game he plays, it's the same performance. And he's done that again today, but he's done it against Haaland and against Man City.
You can subscribe to the Liverpool Way podcast on all the major platforms, whether it's Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon or Podbean. Just search for the Liverpool Way, leave us a review and hit subscribe to automatically receive all new episodes. You can also head to liverpoolway.co.uk and grab a TLW season ticket for just £3 a month. There's tons of exclusive content, including match reports from every Liverpool game, weekly Premier League roundups, the TLW diary and access to the members-only forum. Lastly, you can follow us on social media at The Liverpool Way on Twitter and at The Liverpool Way TLW on Instagram and Facebook.
Well, that's the proper test.
Yeah. There's no bigger test.
I was talking about earlier in the season, and I'd reached the point where I thought I don't need to see a big test because he's so consistent. But he had the big test today and he passed it. And also, not only that, he was giving it some of the Joel Mattips as well, carrying it forward, play a lovely weighted ball out to Harvey in the second half. You know, and just going past players. He is the real deal. He's seriously talented.
Yeah, he is.
It's mad. He's mad. He's just, his profile was so low in the summer, and then he's basically a first team footballer.
See, Joey Barton was gloating about that after the game. I just seen like a tweet that he'd put out about Gerald Kwanzaa had Haaland in his. I think he said in his skyrocket or something stupid like that, but. He was his manager at Bristol Rovers, wasn't he? So he's like trying to bask in a little bit of the reflected glory there, the fucking knobhead.
Yeah, I think the only other mistake Kwanzaa made was when Haaland had a one-on-one against Verge. I don't know if he got like, someone played it through his legs or something, was it? And around the centre circle.
I don't remember how that came about.
Yeah, and Virgil obviously had to hold Haaland up, who got the shot away. But yeah, Kwanzaa was, you know, outstanding. You know, it was an absolute worry for me before the game. I was, you know, panicking about that a bit, but passed the test with flying colours overall. Just so composed. You know, it's just got like a classy look about him, and doesn't look flustered. Perfect, you know, modern day centre half, really.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was like worried about that, but he's not Konate. You know, so it's like if Konate had been playing, I wouldn't have given it a second thought. Oh, Haaland might do this, might do that. I'd be like, no, we'll deal with him with those.
Well, I think he's put himself in a position now whereby there's a discussion from this point on where does Konate automatically every time get his place back? I think Kwanzaa should now be thinking, I want to be first choice.
Well,
because when you play at that level, at that age, and a season like this, you know, who can't you play against? That was a big game today. That was a really big game.
And, you know, I do think he'll play a lot of games, but that's mostly because Konate's only going to play once a week. We've seen what happens if he has to play twice a week. So we did this with Matip, didn't we? Before like he got injured. I think last season or the season before, even when we were going for like the 4 trophies, it was like one of them played midweek, one of them played the weekend. So I think we'll be in that territory with Kwanzaa because he's clearly there's no reason why you'd be like, oh, maybe we can't play him today. No, he can deal with whatever you throw at him. He'll play. He'll do a really good job.
And there's no drop off in quality. No drop off at all.
I don't know if I'd go that far because I think Konate's fucking incredible. I think he's absolutely fucking monstrous. The way he's been playing lately, just dominating people and just.
I suppose he is more dominant. That is fair. Yeah, he is a more dominant defender.
I think like he's as good as anyone out there. Like just as a front foot defender, just when the ball gets played up to the striker and he just wins it.
Let me rephrase then. There's no drop off in terms of vulnerability for us. He doesn't make us more vulnerable.
No.
I suppose what Konate offers is
he's a front foot defender.
Yeah.
Konate can box off that right side of the pitch with all this hybrid, you know, right back thing. You know, he just boxes it off, doesn't he? Like
with Kwanzaa, you want a right back there as well.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. But,
certainly against better teams, you've got teams who've got like a really dangerous left-sided player, but you know he's going to play a lot of games for us. That's obvious. He's not a flash in the pan. He's going to be around for a long time, and he's only going to get better. Obviously, I mean, Virgil always says, like, you know, you look at where Virgil was when he was 20. And he's talking about like the likes of Konate and Kwanzaa, and he's like, they're miles better than I was. Absolutely miles better than I ever was at that age. And then obviously not everyone progresses in the same way. So that's not to say that Kwanzaa's at 26 is going to be like Virgil at 26. You don't know what kind of progress he'll make. But if he's like this at 20, he's going to be, if he stays clear of any serious injuries or anything, he's going to be a top player, isn't he, for a long time. If he can come in to a game like that today and play the way he did, you know, it's like, I just think it's credit to him, credit to the academy, and credit to Klopp for putting him in, because the easy thing to do would have been to change the plan and just bring Robbo back in, play Joe Gomez centre-back. But he didn't. He stuck with the plan, which was to play Gomez left-back. I mean, we had 2 left-backs on the bench. You know, you could have started Robbo for like an hour and then brought Costas on if need be. But that was the plan, and he didn't change it because the plan would have meant playing Kwanzaa against Haaland. And I think a lot of us would have said, change that plan. Just play Gomez in the middle.
Well, me and Paul were talking about the lineup 6:30 this morning, weren't we, Paul? On WhatsApp group, and it was pumped up for the game that early in the morning and stuff. And I wanted Gomez to start left back, because the whole Foden aspect, he's banging form. He's got that thing about cutting in on his left foot. He skinned Lindelof last week, and I was thinking, obviously Gomez a lot more agile, he's got a bit more strength and pace than Lindelof. So I was happy with Gomez starting left back today. He wasn't quite at it early doors, but I thought he grew into it, as the game went on. And as I say earlier on, when he went to right back, and into the hybrid role, if you like, he made some really good runs, carried the ball 30-40 yards, got us up the pitch, into some dangerous areas just by his strength and physicality.
Yeah. So were you saying about Quansah with the forward runs? I might be wrong, but I think the penalty actually came about from him carrying the ball forward, and he played the ball down the line, but I think the defender got there first, didn't he? Bradley was putting him under pressure. Defender got there first, and then he's played the short back pass, and Darwin's got onto it. And
it was from Quansah. You're right, it was.
So that was him just carrying the ball forward, because I felt like the City had decided we're letting him have the ball, because when we were passing it round, Quansah was getting a lot of the ball, because generally when you teams are deciding there's always going to be a free player in possession generally, and it looked like they were just letting him have the ball, thinking he hasn't got what Virgil's got, where he can just ping those diagonal passes and stuff, which he actually has got that. He's not as good as Virgil, but he has got it in his locker. But so he just started carrying it forward. It's if they just left him in the space, he's all right, well, I'll bring it forward and see what happens. And yeah, it wasn't a great ball that he played down the line, but something ended up coming of it, because Bradley's chased the lost cause, Darwin's alert to it, and such an obvious penalty that not even Michael Oliver could turn that one down.
Ederson's got that in his game, hasn't he? So reckless,
he did it last week against United and got away with one, didn't he?
He got away with it, but I think Goldbridge was saying, wasn't he? If that's a midfielder's tackle, would that have been given as a foul kind of thing?
Depends if the midfielder plays for City or not. Probably not.
yeah, but he's done it numerous times over the years, isn't he? He's quite reckless. I mean, you never see Alisson do that, do you?
Alisson's hammy had gone halfway before he got there if he has to sprint.
But he's just got that rush of blood to the head, and obviously we made him pay for it.
Injured himself as well, doing it.
Yeah. I actually thought that keeper who come on for them settled them down a little bit. He did quite well, to be fair, that goalie when he come on.
Yeah.
But Ederson's definitely, he's quite reckless at times with stuff like that. And Darwin, seeing the short back pass onto it in a flash, and absolute stonewall penalty, as you say.
And John, you were struggling to watch the pen, weren't you?
I know.
John was fucking shitting himself, Paul.
Did you give it the Kloppo and turn away?
I did, yeah. This guy, I was facing the guy behind me.
Fucking hell, I never thought
I ended up watching it, but because it took that long, I just thought, fuck it, I'll watch it.
Yeah, it was the delay that then you decided, I'm going to watch. But initially, he was like, I can't watch, I'm turning away, I'm doing a Kloppo.
I knew Mac would be sound.
So did but I did get a little bit concerned about the amount of time that it was taking.
I would have been concerned if they tried to needle him a bit, but they didn't. I thought they'd go and mither him.
He was just stood on his own at the side of the box, and nobody went near him, which surprised me, actually. I thought they would have done that, but nobody did, which, that was surprising. But you still always got to think, because when you've got that much time, that's when you start maybe second guessing what you were going to do. That can affect the penalty taker, where he may well have had it in his head, if I get a penalty today, this is where I'm putting it. And then you've got that much time to think about it while you're waiting, and you're like, oh, maybe I'm not going to do that. And so you can get doubts in your mind, but what a fucking penalty that was.
Fucking
you just
brilliant.
Don't save them. Just
absolutely
the
brilliant.
Perfect penalty, wasn't it?
Lovely.
Perfect height, loads of power on it. Yeah, perfect.
And I'd like to think that he will be our penalty taker now, regardless of if Mo's on the pitch or not. I want Mac Allister taking penalties.
Oh,
absolutely.
I think I probably agree, but I'm not convinced that's what happened.
It should do. It should happen. But yeah, I agree. I'm not saying it definitely will. I think there's still a chance that Mo's just going to call seniority on it. But no, I want Mac Allister taking the pens. But that once we got that, it was so early in the second half, and just the place just it was electric, wasn't it? After that,
Yeah.
And you felt like it was going to be one of those where like we just managed to just sweep them away in that period, and we almost did. It was like we just had them on the ropes, and we just couldn't land the knockout blow. I'm just trying to think like the chances that we had. There was so many. There was like the obvious was the Diaz one after Mo came on, but Diaz had another one when.
He had to hit it first time, didn't he?
It wasn't easy to hit it first time. No,
it was a hard chance.
That,
it was hard. And he had another one as well. There was a third one, but it wasn't.
The shot that went wide or over the bar.
Yeah, the one from the corner where it had a shot blocked. It came back to him.
It was on his right foot, wasn't it?
He volleyed it with his right foot.
What happened with the offside goal? I didn't see that, but Klopp was doing his nut because the liner flagged immediately rather than let it go. Who put it in the net?
Harvey scored. Gakpo hit the bar. It come back out, and Harvey fucking lashed it in the top corner. But the thing with that, it happened in the first half as well. Not on the disallowed Diaz goal when Darwin went through him was offside. It wasn't on that because the linesman did the right thing there. He waited until Diaz scored and then he put the flag up. But there was one before that when it was like I haven't seen it back, but it looked close. I'm not saying it wasn't offside. It probably was, but it was close. And before Darwin hit the shot, he put the flag up. As he's like shaping to shoot, he put the flag up and the whistle went as Darwin's hitting the shot. Now, it didn't go, I think it went like just at the side netting or just over the bar. But Pep Linders went mad. He was like shouting down at the linesman because he should not be putting his flag up. You just should not be flagging. That's the way it is now. You let that play out, and then when the ball goes out, then you can put your flag up and say, yeah, he was offside. But he put his flag up early enough that the referee blew the whistle as he was hitting a shot. So Pep's going mad about that, and then the same thing happens on the goal that gets disallowed. He's put the flag up, and it's like, well, it might be offside, but you can't be 100% sure. You should not be flagging. You let that play out, and then when the ball hits the net, then put your flag up, and then we'll have a look at it. Don't be like getting yourself involved in the play by sticking the flag up early, because he wasn't doing that for Man City. He kept doing it with us in the first half, and there was one in the second half, and Doku was clearly offside, and he didn't flag. He let it go.
He was about 8 yards behind the play there.
Yeah, but he was miles offside, and he didn't flag. He let that one go, and I think they ended up getting a corner out of it or something. But it's like, well, you're going to be consistent. If you're going to put your flag up, or do what you're supposed to do. And don't, but do it for both teams. So that's why like Klopp and Linders were getting pissed off with both linesmen, because they were putting the flag up for us and leaving it down for them and letting VAR deal with it. And I'm assuming that he must have been offside because nobody said anything about it. Like, so it's the right decision, but it's not the right procedure to get there. So that's the problem with that. But it was a great finish by Harvey. And it's a shame because I think like if anybody could have scored the winner, I would have liked it to have been him. Just because of like how mentally would have gone, he would have, it means everything to him, doesn't he? And he deserved it for the way he played. But the chances at the other end, fucking hell. the one when Queeve punches it out and it's Foden in the face and it's the bar. I was like, oh my god!
No, it hit him on the hand, didn't he? He punched it.
Well,
did he punch it? Because he was holding his face, wasn't he?
No, I think he tried to deliberately handball it. I mean, I've not seen it back. I only saw it in the moment. I think he tried to deliberately punch it in the net. He was, and then he was faking it in case he got booked.
Dave Jed, he said that after the game. He said
it was on ball.
Disallowed. It was on ball, but obviously at the time, because it happened so fast.
Yeah, I thought it just hit him in the face.
Hit him in the face and like hit the bar and that. Yeah, but obviously the Doku, it's like hitting the inside of the post. That was like a good Johnson moment in 2005 for me. That in the context that if we win the league, you look back at little things like that, just the way
How cool was Queeve though, John, when it just came back to him?
Well, he didn't bat an eyelid, did he? Wasn't he in the 6-yard box? And I think he might have got caught in his heels a bit. I don't know, but like luckily it just like bounced into Queeve's arms, like
straight back to him.
Straight back, but. I think if Foden would have been sort of running in. He might have like got a knock in there, a tap in. I'm not sure. I'd have to see it back.
When both of them things happened and the ball didn't go in, like, I wouldn't say I was sure that we were going to win the game, but I was sure we weren't going to lose it. I was like, okay, it's not City's day. If they were going to win it, there's no way you have those two incidents go the way they did and then you go on and get a winner. Football just doesn't work like that. So, like, I never thought at that point we were going to lose it. It was just a case of, well, will we find a winner? Are we going to be able to, just to get, like, the 3 points and find a way to get it done? And we basically did, and we may as well get to the penalty now because you didn't see it, Paul, you were in the car. We had a reasonable view from where we were, John, and I just thought, well, I don't know if Doku got the ball or not. It doesn't really matter. If you go in with your foot that high, even if you get the ball first, if you then go studs first into someone's chest, it's just a penalty. It's not even up for discussion. It's a fucking penalty.
Staggering, but I want to know why that wasn't. Like we all do. What logical explanation is there for that not being given?
The explanation that was given by VAR was that his foot wasn't high enough. It was a normal challenge. Yeah, I know.
In his chest. What the fuck? I mean, I'm not one of these conspiracy theorists on the whole, but stuff like that, it rankles because you just think like, the Premier League want the product. They want like an exciting title race where it's like the three teams going into it, hammer and tongue, right? If there's a winner in that game, especially a Liverpool winner, it sort of knocks City out of the equation. But, the bang in it's still City, whether we like it or not. It's little moments like that. You just think,
I think
is there some
overthinking that, John, in terms of like the Premier League and all that. It's purely just comes down to the referee on the field. Michael Oliver. There's two.
But why didn't you tell him to go to the screen then?
Because they don't overrule on penalty decisions like that. It's very, very rare that like they'll.
It has happened though, hasn't it?
It doesn't happen very often though, and it's happened less frequently as the season's gone on. Generally, it's like if the referee on the field it doesn't give something, they'll very rarely say. And I think some of it comes down to the conversations that the referee will have. The referee will say what he's seen, and if that doesn't match up, if it's like completely off kilter with what's happened, they may well say, no, we'll take a look at it. But if he said, I didn't think his foot was that high, and then VAR's gone, well, I'm just going to go along with that. I'm not overturning, because they don't overturn on penalties. It's very rare that they do it. So the problem initially is that Michael Oliver doesn't give it, and then it's compounded by the fact that VAR hasn't got the balls to say to him, look, you've got that badly wrong, that's a Stonewall penalty. So there's two layers to it.
Oliver's position, I don't know where he was on the pitch, because it was a caught in his blind side.
Probably looking at his bank account and seeing like his last fucking payment from his little side gig to United Arab Emirates, paid for by City's chairman. So that's the other element to it, is like these decisions don't go against City. Everyone else is complaining about decisions that have gone against them, and they're just like sitting in the corner just keeping quiet because it's like, oh yeah, we can't relate to this, because they just don't get decisions against them. So I do think if we were losing, I think he gives that penalty. But I think it's 1-1 in the game, and he's quite happy for that game to just peter out at 1-1. And he's not the centre of attention. He's not the story. He wanted fucking no part of giving a penalty in like the last kick of the game. But I do think, it's just pure fucking cowardly behaviour. I do think if we were getting beat, he would have probably give that. I can't say for certain because it's Michael Oliver and some of the decisions. This, don't forget, right? This is a referee who gave a penalty in the Manchester derby when he was the VAR, overruled like a decision on the field, which, like I say, it never happens. It happened that day. Michael Oliver, the one when Hoylands has barely touched Rodri on a set piece. Now, you look at what goes on every single set piece. Look at our game last week, at Forest. Like, some of the things that were going on in the penalty area in that game. nothing gets given, and everyone just accepts the fact, yeah, look, this is just how it is. Set pieces, you're not getting those decisions. People will just hold and pull and drag people down, and nothing will get done about it, because that's how referees are calling those incidents. And it's really consistent. Whether you like it or not, it is consistent. They do not give those decisions, hardly ever. Michael Oliver, in a 0-0 Manchester derby, a fucking high-profile game like that, inserts himself into the game to say to the referee, yeah, there's a foul there in the box, you need to go and look at it. It doesn't happen. It's never happened before this season, and it's never happened since. It's just not how the games are refereed. Michael Oliver gave City that penalty. He didn't send Kovacic. Didn't send Kovacic off. That was the week before, and it was a week after he'd come back from his little side gig. So, I mean, I wasn't expecting anything from him today. He's given us a penalty, which he had absolutely no choice about. You can't not give that. There was no way he was given a penalty with the last kick of the game to potentially cause City to lose a game. He was not doing it. He didn't want to be the story as well. That's the other thing. It's like, referee, the easiest thing in the world to do is go, you know what, fuck that. No, I'm just letting that go. Because if he gives that, everyone talks about it. Even if it's the right decision, he's still going to get shit, because the way the fucking media are, the absolute bollocks that gets like analysed on Match of the Day and all of this stuff, there will still be people saying that that's not a penalty, even though it's an absolute stonewall penalty. Referees in that situation, the easy thing to do is to just not give it. Like, I heard Alan Pardew on the radio. I was coming home, and Alan Pardew, his take on it was, yeah, it's probably a penalty, but I'm glad it wasn't given, because I really didn't think a game like that should have ended on a penalty like that.
What a fucking inane take
I sort of see what he's saying from like a neutral's point of view.
It's a penalty. It's a penalty.
He's like, what a great game. It would be a shame if it ended the way it did. I'm like, if you were a fucking manager and that went against you, Pards, you think you'd be like, well, you know, you don't really want a game ending like that. It's like,
he'd be storming castles, Dave.
Be careful now. I don't want his lawyers onto me again.
But that's the same Alan Pardew.
He'd be sending up his bravest, fastest warrior to take the penalty. Go on, John. What were you saying?
That's the same Alan Pardew who's like assaulted players on the pitch.
I know.
It doesn't matter the context of it. It's a penalty.
That's the thing. If it's a shame for a game to end that way, it doesn't matter. That you can't do what he did. You cannot tackle someone like that in the box. You can't do it. So
do you think it would have just been Michael Oliver that wouldn't have given it, Dave, or do you think other referees?
I think a lot of referees would have shit out of giving it because of the occasion and the timing of it in the game. They know it's like the last kick of the game. I think a lot of referees would take the easy way out and go, I'm not giving that. And the only reason why I think there's a possibility that there's more to it is because of Michael Oliver's track record this season. I don't know. He wasn't on my radar before, but after he'd taken that paid gig in the UAE, and then he came back and he didn't send Kovacic off. That was like the biggest red flag of the season, when Kovacic not getting sent off in that game against Arsenal. Now, because Arsenal went on to win it, not that much is made of it, but that was fucking staggering how he refereed that game. And then a week later, the Manchester derby, and he's just inventing a foul out of nothing. Because that is, it's not a penalty. The Hoylands on Rodri thing, it's not a penalty. You see that like 10 times in every game. Why is he giving that in a Manchester derby, high profile game, and he's not the referee on the pitch giving it. He's in the fucking VAR room, and he gives that. It's just massive. Like, it's a massive red flag. You've got to have alarm bells going off there. And then I do think a lot of referees would have shit out. So I don't know if it was just a case of that or if it was something else. But
Goldbridge has just tweeted this 4 minutes ago, and he's a Man United fan.
Goldbridge is right all over this and has been all season, by the way.
Listen to this. Stunning how the mainstream brushed that Doku foul and Stonewall pen under the carpet. Yeah. It's literally a title decider. Yeah. Liverpool will be 4 ahead of City instead of 1. It's a disgusting decision in any game.
He's right.
He's spot on.
And Goldbridge is constantly saying stuff like this, and I'm like, why is he the only one? Because he is mainstream media now, but he's got a show on TalkSport. He's high profile enough on YouTube that he has got a voice and people are listening. And he talks so much sense on all of this stuff. And it's like, why are other people not saying this? Why is it always Goldbridge and nobody else is picking up on any of it? He's been going on about Michael Oliver and Man City for fucking months. You know, like, I've been saying it, but, like, nobody in, like, the mainstream media, if you like, ever brings any of this up. Goldbridge has been on about it for months. I've seen loads of his videos where he's talking about this, and he was saying it today. Michael Oliver and City, that's not a good mix. You know, he was also saying, like, I haven't seen this back, but he said Kyle Walker's tackle on Mo was a disgrace and should have been dealt with, but, you know, Oliver did nothing. So he knows, he's seen it, he's joined the dots, and too many people are just not joining the dots. And I don't know if it's because they just don't want to believe that, like, something fucking rotten could be happening. But the stuff that Michael Oliver's being given to Man City this season, it's not normal. It's not coincidence.
Here's Carra's take on the penalty decision. Looks like you're right, Dave. Looks like they did all say it wasn't a penalty. That Joel Rabinovitz on Twitter has said, Carra talking some real nonsense there, saying that because it was in the box, Doku's challenge wasn't worthy of a penalty, even though it's a definite foul anywhere else on the pitch. Keenan Richards in agreement, brushed under the carpet, extraordinary. Carra's come back with, referees give fouls outside the box because it's easy to blow for it, and if it's wrong, no one cares. In the box, it's different, as it can win or lose a game, so they want to be 100% sure. We all know that's always been the case. I thought it was 50-50.
It's not 50-50. He's right in everything
50-50.
else that he said.
Yeah, but
it's not 50-50. It's just not. You can't go in with your studs up that high. And Macca gets the ball first as well. You look at the slow-mo. Now, obviously, Michael Oliver's not got the benefit of that. But that's where, like, VAR should come in. If Oliver says on his little headset of VAR, no, he's got the ball, and VAR says, well, actually, he didn't. Do you want to go and have a look? That's the whole reason why it's there. At such an important stage of the game, he should have been sent to look at that, and then it's on him. He's got to make the decision then. But VAR not sending him, it's just this bollocks protocol where it's like this high bar, what they talk about. It's bullshit. It's like they don't, on penalties, they tend to, red cards and stuff, they will often say to the ref, go and have a look at that tackle again. But with penalties, like, if they don't give it, they very rarely send them to the screen.
It's like what I said outside the chippy. They need to change the whole of VAR and make it a review system. So each team gets one review each per half, and they decide when they want any match changing situation or match altering situation, goals, offsides, red cards, whatever. They can challenge any of them, and if they're right, then they keep the review. If not, the review for that half is gone. They just need to remove the referee and the whole panel from the whole process, so they're not deciding when to check, when not to check. What they need to be asked to check. That's the way it should be. That's what will sort. That's what will take all of this shit, or a lot of this shit away. Obviously, they've got to make the right judgments. But what you're going to remove is this whole backing each other and looking out for each other and not second guessing each other and not throwing each other under the bus and worrying about all of that instead of just going for the accurate decision.
What's like that really frustrating about it is all the bullshit that we got subjected to last week over the fucking drop ball that happened 2 minutes before we scored. And then something like this happens. We had all like the fucking knobheads last week talking about, this is because they want Klopp to win the title in his final season. I'm like, look what happened at Anfield against Arsenal with the Odegaard handball. Look at what happened to us at Tottenham. So, and then look at today, City. So that's the team, like, first in the league, Arsenal. There was the penalty incident, the Odegaard thing. Third in the league, City. We've had that today. And Spurs are fifth, but probably going to end up fourth. And that happened to us there. So in our big games against, like, the top four teams, we've had those decisions going against us. And you've still got people talking bollocks about, like, decisions favouring Liverpool. It's fucking mental. I mean, the stuff from last week was, I've never seen anything like that. It's like making a massive fuss over a throw-in getting given the wrong way, and then 2 minutes later someone scores. It was not a big deal, and it got made into this massive deal, and I don't even know why. I think, like, maybe it's because of Clattenburg fucking shooting his mouth off. Maybe it's because of Match of the Day set the narrative with the bollocks that fucking Jermaine Genius was coming out with, and them not showing the context of what had happened with the earlier drop ball. I don't know, but it just snowballed, and, like, people are talking about it, and it comes to something. The only people who spoke sense on it that I heard was Gary Neville, fucking Garth Crooks, and Chris Sutton.
Garth Crooks? Yeah. Garth Crooks got something.
Garth Crooks, for once in his fucking worthless life, actually made a good point. I'm like, Shame on everyone else when fucking Garth Crooks is like calling it right and you are all like so
Garth
far
Crooks
off.
is what, like one step up from David fucking Icke.
Yes, I know. But Garth Crooks was right. I'm like, oh my God. Shame on the rest of you. Fucking Shearer and
ex-Nottingham Forest player,
Yeah.
was it? Yeah, that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
It was ridiculous, but like, you know that this is not going to get anywhere near that kind of reaction, and it should do because it was a fucking
Neville and
Stonewall
Dean
penalty.
said there was a pen in commentary, apparently, didn't he, today?
Dean changed his mind when he didn't give it. He'd done the usual referee
course,
flip-flop thing. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm
What's
sure."
known as a Gallagher.
I read it before where he'd said the quote was like, "This is Anfield," put a news item on it, and it was something about like he said, "Oh, I'm sure that there's a good chance they'll send Michael to the screen to look at that," and then he didn't send him to the screen. He's like, "Yeah, clearly it's no penalty." I'm like, "Fuck off." You fucking
what did Klopp say
little baldy fucking whittle bastard. No offence, Paul.
Listen,
Paul, you've not
enough
got,
about me. What about Mike Dean?
You've not got beady eyes, Paul.
What did Dean say after the game? Sort of about Klopp said something about him, didn't he?
Klopp said, he was asking them about like who's analysing it, and he said, have you hired Mike Dean now or something? Does Mike Dean work for you? And the guy went, yeah. And Klopp just looked straight into the camera and went, great appointment. Like fucking dead sarcastic. Klopp doesn't give a fuck now, now that he's going, and it's going to get like, he's going to be more and more as like the season goes. He actually said after the game tonight, I don't care what people think anymore because I'm going. I'm not going to be here. So he's going to be saying all sorts over like the next couple of months, I reckon.
Bring it on.
Yeah, definitely.
Bring it on. Yeah, but it's absolutely infuriating that wasn't given. It's like, especially when you see what happened with Arsenal yesterday as well. Havertz, he'd been booked.
Yeah,
and that was a dive.
Blatant dive.
It wasn't even one of those sort of manufacturing contacts.
No, it wasn't even a good dive, was it? Yeah.
So he should have been like sent off, second yellow, and it just fucking like sticks into the crowd that he scored the winner as well.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? But yeah, it was...
Yeah, but that drop ball though, John.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. As you say, 2 minutes before the winning goal, it's like, honestly.
So are we done on the game? Do we talk about the title race?
Yeah. Are you feeling any differently than you were prior to kick-off? John, start with you.
No, I'm not. Basically, for reasons touched on it, I took the draw.
So you feel the same way, or do you feel more confident after the performance, or just the same?
More confident, actually, yeah. Well, the same, but edging towards more confident, because I went on, for all my sins, I went on Blue Moon after the game, City's forum, just a little browse of like the post.
It's vile.
It is a vile forum, I'm not going to lie. I feel like I need a wash after going on it, but curiosity and all that. But yeah, they were all saying, most of them anyway, got out of jail, it should have been a penalty, and we haven't been that good all season and all that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking, well, if they're saying that, surely, I don't watch City week in, week out. I wouldn't watch them at all unless I've really got to. They're probably the only team in the league I won't watch, if you know what I mean, if there's a match on or whatever. But yeah, I'm okay with it. I think like the next game's like a critical game. We play Brighton before, Arsenal play City, so Arsenal could put the feet up a little bit like last night, but we can do that should we do the business against Brighton on Easter Sunday. So it's like, if we do beat Brighton, and it's like, okay, well, one of yous, well, both of them are under a bit of pressure then, aren't they? So it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
City have realistically got to win that game then, haven't they? Got to beat Arsenal. Draws are no good if we beat Brighton. So I'm okay with it, yeah. I'm quietly confident. And it's a good point because, as I said earlier, it keeps us ahead of City. If you're going back to previous title races, we're the one chasing them down, where we're a point behind. We've lost the 2 titles by a point, over the years. So we're in the driving seat ahead of them. Obviously, Arsenal is a different matter, but I'm looking at that Sheffield United.
I was just going to say that. You made that point today. It's a good point, John.
Yeah, it's like, Arsenal's goal difference is 7 better. So that's got to be the game. We claw some of that back because that's still...
Or all of it.
Or all of it, yeah, if you like.
What, they beat them 6-0? So you've got to be looking at doing something similar, because that is the difference, isn't it? You were right,
Yeah,
and you said
that's the game. It's the game that we've got to claw that goal. I mean, we'll probably have a few tight games here and there as the season goes on. You know, I'm sure we'll win one or two relatively comfortably, but that Sheffield United game is the game that we've got to claw as much of that goal difference back as possible, because that's
dog
still
shit.
be absolutely critical come the end of the season. There's normally City's goal difference is like well better than anyone else's, isn't it? At this like plus 60 or whatever. But they're like, 11 behind Arsenal, like four.
They've not been battering teams.
No, yeah, it's all been like 1-0s, hasn't it? 2-0s. But yeah, so yeah, I'm okay with the situation. That's why overall I'm content with the point today. And kicks the 5 further down the road, if you like.
Yeah.
I still don't have that we're gonna win it feeling, which I often do tend to get, and sometimes wrongly. But I think that's not about us anymore. So I think what today has done is absolutely confirm that Klopp isn't going to let anything get in the way of us. So in terms of injuries, in terms of players being out, in terms of using the kids, I mean, the performance from some of those players today playing at that level, was absolutely fantastic. I think we're probably going to have to win all 10 games, I think, to win the league. I think we're going to have to go on a run now and win every week. That might not be borne out.
Who are you seeing as why have we got to win 10 at City or Arsenal?
So I think and this will be confirmed in a fortnight's time. Arsenal were worrying me more than City at the back of my head before today. But I'm saying to myself, no, but this is City. But Arsenal were the one, my gut was sort of telling me Arsenal were the ones to worry about. Arteta has improved them year on year, and they've moved forward again. And what's worried me about Arsenal is this little run of battering teams the last 4 or 5 games and banging a load of goals in. They're still keeping clean sheets, and they're absolutely battering teams. They've been very lucky with their injuries, but sometimes that happens. I think I'll have a better understanding of where the main threat is coming from, but I think it's starting to look like Arsenal could be the main threat. I think Arsenal are probably going to go to City, and he's going to play to win, and I think they might win. And I think that is going to mean we're going to have to, and I don't think City will fall away, by the way, but I think City will be third behind the two of us, and we'll have to go toe-to-toe in terms of results with Arsenal. And the nature of how tight that is means I can't really feel like at this stage, it's ours, we're going to win, because it is all so tight against teams which are, two sides which are really good. But what I'm absolutely convinced about is I have got no doubts now about any of these players. But what I do think we're going to need, and we didn't have today, is we need a player, a forward. I wanted and thought it was going to be Darwin, but it might actually end up being Mo, who's going to get a grip of this title race and is going to put his stamp on it and is going to win the league for us. I thought it was moving towards Darwin being that player, and it might still be.
He won us the penalty today.
No, Dave, don't go into your Operation Defend Darwin mode. I'm not knocking Darwin. He's great.
Yeah, but one game without a goal, and now you're going back to...
Dave, shut up. Just shut up. Don't do all this. No, I'm not at all. What I thought I was going to see from him was a proper, think of the levels we're talking about. We're talking about Manchester City in a title race. It's no failure to come off the pitch not having scored. But what I thought we were going to start to see was him going into that game and absolutely battering them and getting 2 or 3. I was talking about a hat-trick. Now, maybe that's on me, maybe that's wrong from me, but I think what the title race needs, and it's not a knock on Darwin, he's having a great season, he's having a season that's really significant, but I think what the title race needs now for us to win it is one player who just says, I'm going to win this for Liverpool. Still could be Darwin, think it might be Mo, but when I say a player who's going to get a grip of it, it's got to be a goal scorer. It's got to be someone who's going to bang them in, who's going to win us games, who's going to become that big game player. And I think if we have that, if one of those two do it, then I think we will. That will be enough to get us over the line. At City, I'm less convinced by after today. I think Haaland is. I mean, this sounds really dismissive.
Fucking flat track bully is what.
Well,
he
is, and also a little bit of a one trick pony in that, like, he needs the ball on a. Well, maybe he doesn't need a ball on the plate, but tactically the way they play, it's all about giving him on a plate and then let him do the rest. But when that isn't working for them, then there's no plan B. So maybe that's more about them as a team than it is about Haaland. So I know why he's gone for this system, tactical approach that he's got with Haaland this season, and it's worked really, really well last season as well when they won the treble. But I just think that, like, you know, there's a flip side to it. You know, we were talking about, you know, Arsenal are getting these 4, 5, 6-0 wins, and City have been sneaking the 1-0s. And then today they dropped points, and he hasn't scored. So it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. I all I'd say is I've got no doubts about us as a team at all. I think the players are exactly. We have got no right to expect what we've seen. This is pure Klopp magic that we're seeing now. This is way beyond what any of us expected at the start of the season. None of us could have predicted this. Certainly we couldn't have. I mean, just in terms of being up here at this stage of the season, never mind all the bit part players, the kids, the injuries, the unfancied signings who've all come in and just been absolutely sensational. None of us could have predicted any of it. So I feel I've got no doubts about us, really. But I just think for the title race, we need to find something a little bit more. And that's like, maybe that's. I don't want that to sound like I'm dismissing what's gone on so far. It's been a fantastic season so far. You know, the character that we've shown, this whole kind of like coming from behind thing, that's a massive asset for us to have. You know, again, we came from behind today. I think we've recovered 23 points from losing positions this season, which is more than any other team by a mile. And that is something significant. But I just think there's going to be games where I want us to get into that where we can just go out and batter somebody. And I think if we get that will give us the momentum we need to go to the title. If we absolutely twat a couple of teams,
I think we'll twat Brighton. Twat Brighton.
Well, I think that might be, you know, and I'd like Darwin to fill his fucking boots. Really, I'd like Darwin to get a hat trick, and I think that could really light a fire under him, and then he'll just go boom through to the end of the campaign. But yeah, as things stand, I'm thinking we might need, you know, 30 out of 30 points to win the league.
Yeah, I think, I don't know who I'm more worried about. I'm leaning towards City because it's City. The one thing I don't want is for Arsenal to win at City, because I think that gives them such a boost. Because they've got tricky games. They've got to go to Tottenham as well, which is going to be a really hard game for them.
So City, haven't they?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't want them
Arsenal have as well, haven't they?
I don't want Arsenal to win at City because they've got to go. They've got to play Tottenham away, which North London derby. It's going to be hard for them. I know City have got to play Tottenham away as well, and Tottenham's a bogey team for them. But I feel like if Arsenal go to City and win, that gives them such a fucking massive lift in terms of belief. I don't want that. So it's either got to be a draw or reluctantly a City win. The one thing I don't want is an Arsenal win. So a draw works out nicely for us as long as we beat Brighton. Obviously, other games that they've both got tough games left, and yeah, we've got to go to United, we've got to go to Villa, we've got to go to Everton. But realistically, United are shit. I know they're going to be up for it, but they've got away with it once against us.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening again. I think we'll beat them comfortably in the cup at the weekend, and I think we'll go there and beat them in the league. Villa's gone off the boil now, the home record. They had that amazing home record, but you can get at them. They defend so high up the pitch and with like no pressure on the ball. Like Tottenham have fucking destroyed them today. You know, we shouldn't be worrying about having to play Villa, but you know, anything can happen on a day. I don't know whether we have to win every game. I think we can maybe afford a draw.
Yeah,
I do think points will be dropped from the other two. But
I'm not sure about Arsenal. I think Arsenal might go on a run.
See, that's why
already be on the
we
run
can't have them winning at City. I think that's a bad result for us if they win there. Yeah, I don't think they will. I don't think they'll beat City at City. I mean, City never lose at home.
Yeah, well,
it so rarely happens, and it's so important to them. I don't think City will lose that game, but a draw would be nice for us, really.
What'd be great is if Arsenal and City got each other in the Champions League as well.
Yes, definitely,
that's
John.
Like, The Carr's
Yeah.
made that point before, but it just
The
takes
emotional baggage.
Yeah, because you're playing on the
pressure.
Saturday, whether they're playing in the league, and then they've got two big Champions League games like a week either side of each other, and the emotion and energy that especially Arsenal. I mean, City have obviously done that with their eyes closed kind of thing in recent years, but Arsenal, it's all new to them, and I think Arsenal are a team over two legs who could beat City over two legs. So that's the ideal draw for the next round of the Champions League. Should
100%
Arsenal
agree with that.
get through, because we can just hopefully get someone like a weak team in the Europa League. Hopefully not Leverkusen. Just absolutely do not want that if they get through.
Because
Absolutely
that'll happen
through.
to us. We'll have that same emotional pressure if we get
Exactly,
Leverkusen with
yeah.
the whole
It's just a
shabby
draw
factor.
that we can absolutely do without. Just give us, I don't know. I don't even know.
Not Roma.
Not Roma, yeah.
Definitely not Roma.
Well, yeah, with the stabbing shit, yeah.
Yeah, just someone who's under
Just
the
West
radar.
Ham. Take West Ham.
West Ham, yeah. Get West Ham over two legs. Just comfortable, wins. Keep under the radar. Let Arsenal and City kick 7 bells out of each other, and
Hopefully some injuries. Fucking
injuries,
Arsenal, got so lucky all season. Hopefully they start to pick up a few injuries. Let them know what it feels.
I mean, I know we've got to go to Goodison still. I don't know when that game's going to be arranged, but I'm hoping it's not soon. If we play Everton, I want it to be sort of.
No, I think it's the last week of the season.
I'm happy with that because
midweek, either the last week or the second to last week.
Yeah, if that's any time
Imagine if the title and relegation's resting on that game. Fucking hell.
Yeah, but
it might be if they get another points deduction.
If we play Everton soon, they're guaranteed to kick shit out of one or two of our players. So if it's late on in the season, then at least it's not sort of.
I think that's. Didn't John B mention this on the pod the other? I think the only time it can go, the only place it can go is like that midweek in the last week of the season.
Yeah, I think
there isn't a space anywhere else.
Yeah,
unless we go out of one of the Europa League.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah,
which obviously I don't want, but that Europa League.
I don't see us getting knocked out the Europa League unless we got Leverkusen. Then who knows? That could be tough.
I don't see us getting knocked out the FA Cup either. Not in the short term.
No, neither do I. So we should get some of the injured players back eventually. But I thought today, all the players that we had missing, if I could have had any one of them, it would 100% have been Jota.
Yeah.
Bringing Jota on rather than Gakpo, I think we'd have won that game.
Oh, Gakpo.
Jota would have sniffed something out, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
Gakpo's just so fucking slow, and everything he does is just decision making and wanting too much time on the ball. It's so frustrating.
But he came on with pink boots on as well.
I know.
Going back to the gold bridge thing, pink bloody boots.
Pink boots and his new haircut, and then he comes out and fucking plays like that. Like, come on, Cody.
It's just so.
I mean, I agree, frustrating, but I feel a bit sorry for him. I think he's kind of like he's a bit of a bit part player in terms of his role and in terms of how often he's selected, and I think it's quite hard for him. It's his first season.
You say how often he's selected? He's played loads lately. He's through necessity.
But his position moves and his role changes, and he hasn't had any consistency of selection really. And I'm prepared to cut him some slack. Yeah, I agree.
What? The damning indictment is like, I was saying this to our boy Rene before the game, and you agreed, Paul. Like, we both said, if you've got 10 minutes left in a game and you're bringing a striker on to win the game, we would both put Jadon Danns on ahead of Gakpo.
Oh, 100%.
What does that say? What's that? He's an international player, talented player.
I agree.
Big money signing. He's he's experienced. He's he's 24. He's had a great career in Holland. He should be delivering so much more than what he is at the moment. And the fact that with 10 minutes to go, we would have more confidence in Jadon Danns coming on and doing something than Gakpo. That's a damning indictment.
I can't disagree with what you're saying, but all I'm saying is I'm not getting exercised about it because
I'm not writing him off in any way. I think he's a really good player in there, but at the moment he's just really frustrating me.
Do you know one other thing I want to shout out before we finish, because I guess we are coming to the end here. We've covered most things. Queeve putting in the grand total of his 12th Premier League appearance today in his career. 12 Premier League appearances he's had. That's mad, isn't it? How good he is. 12. That was his 12th appearance in the Premier League today.
Seriously?
So, seriously. He's been in and around that first team for what, 4 years, 5 years? It's only the 12th time he's appeared in the Premier League.
He made a great save from Foden as well.
He's a really, really, really good footballer, and I think we
stepped up massively.
We're so lucky to have him, and I think we should try to find ways to just keep that going. Find a way to keep him next season, because we've needed him, and we're going to continue to. I'm made up with him today. I thought he was superb,
especially with really Alisson's cheese string fucking hammies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, because as I say, I initially thought should he have done better on the goal. I haven't seen it back. I'm not putting that on him at all.
No, definitely not.
And he made a great save with 1-on-1 with Foden, went through in the second half, and he made a great save. So, yeah, it's another good game from him.
Going back to Cody, late on when he had the ball in the box and like he took too long, took an extra touch, and it's like little things like that.
An extra two touches. And then he tried to pass it to Mo, didn't he? And
the chance was gone.
The pass was behind, and Mo wanted the penalty. I've not seen that back, but I don't think it was, because Mo didn't even argue too much about that one. But yeah,
it's in his head, isn't it? That's what it is. It's in his head.
Yeah, it's got to just do things quicker. That's the things, like move it on quicker.
It'll come.
I'm sure it will. Like I say, I'm not writing them off. I've seen enough that there's talent there. But I just want him to do things quicker, make his decisions quicker and act quicker. Like I say, that the whole slowdy gaxlow is not about him running. I'm not saying he's got no pace, that's not it. It's just him doing things too slowly. And we saw that today when he come on. I just wish that we would have had Jota to come on today, because I think he'd have just won it for us.
Agreed.
Yeah. One other thing as well, absolutely fucking hated the chant about Foden's mum.
Oh, cringe!
Just fuck off with that. That's
after all the Forest stuff like the other week, and then we're doing that. What the fuck?
I mean, apart from his face, what has Phil Foden ever done?
Exactly.
To warrant so that?
Small.
He's never said anything. He's not fucking running his mouth about us or anything. And keep players' families out of it. Just do not be bringing families into it.
Also, I know this makes his baby. It's fucking Mother's Day as well, you know.
That's another thing,
What the fuck?
I hated it. I fucking hated it when that chant went on. It went up twice as well. And it's seriously, it's not funny. It's not clever. It's not witty. It makes us all look like fucking knobheads.
It's just nasty. It's just nasty and unpleasant.
It's nasty and it's fucking completely unwarranted as well. Yeah. I don't like Phil Foden, but it's purely because of his little mank face. It's not that he's ever done anything or said anything to make me not like him. You know, I've got no problem with him. There's like some players who like Gary Neville. I didn't agree with the Gary Neville chant and all that, but Gary Neville kind of brought it on himself to a certain extent. He revelled in that whole like winding the crowd up. No, Phil Foden's never fucking done anything.
No,
I hated it. It's not. It doesn't reflect well on us at all. Yeah. It's like we'll get shit for that. I'm fucking because it got chanted last season, and I was amazed that more wasn't made of it. Like no one really said anything about it. But
tragedy chanting with City fans last season, and that sort of got swept under the carpet. But maybe I say if we get called out on it, then we've only got ourselves to blame.
Because it wasn't a few people, it was fucking loads.
It's a few thousand, it's like, it's like, they're going back to the Gary Neville thing. I mean, obviously, he gave it and he took it kind of thing, but Phil Foden he's done nothing to warrant, no player does though. No player should have the family.
But also his mum. It's not even just about Phil. It's not even just about Phil Foden. About his mum. So she's on fucking national telly hearing that shouted about her. She's probably watching the game because her son's playing on Mother's Day. She's had to listen to that. Yeah. It's a fucking disgrace.
It is.
It's not a good.
Very unedifying, wasn't it? Horrendous.
Completely witty Liverpool fans. That wasn't evident at all.
Unjustified, unwarranted, unbecoming. Just fucking stop it. Just don't do it. You're embarrassing all of us with that shit.
Well said.
All right. Well, I don't want to end on that. So
let's
just have a little
Thursday.
a quick little look at Thursday. So
I mean, it's 5-1 up. I mean, fucking hell. I mean, play the kids.
Do you think he will, though? I don't. I think he's going to pick a team and we're going to be like, oh, what the fuck?
I want you... Listen, as long as Jayden Danzer's playing, I don't care who he picks. I want to see my boy run wild from the start. I want to see him fill his boots and get a start at Anfield.
I want to see Dan's boy Adrian in goal as well. let Queeve have a night off.
Costas will probably
I don't
play
actually mind if Queeve does play the game, but I do think just play Adrian. We're winning by 4 goals. If you can't play him in that game, why are you even paying him a salary? Do you know what I mean? And I think like play Adrian, play Costas, probably.
What about that Nallo lad? Do you think he won't start him, will he?
No,
Do you think
he's,
he might
he's
come
only
on?
17. I wouldn't be. Maybe come on, yeah.
Yeah.
If you get to like 70 minutes and you're still at least 4 goals up or something like that, then you may think, you know what, let's get him on. But
I think McConnell's got a good chance of starting.
McConnell, I'd be starting. Bobby Clark, I'd be
Bobby
starting.
Kumas.
Cade Gordon.
Kumas, Dans, and Gordon would be like the 3. Although you could start Gakpo. Whether that does him any good or not, I don't know. Because it's good in terms of he's getting minutes under his belt, but maybe not good for his confidence being in like a makeshift team where he's not going to be getting as much of the ball. He's not going to be having like the same quality of like forwards around him to play off. I don't know whether it would be a confidence boost or not for him to play in that. But
do you play Mo?
I'd give him a run out. I won't be playing him.
Start or bring him off the bench?
Maybe give him 25 minutes, maybe.
Off the bench?
Off the bench, yeah. And definitely not starting him. I'm starting him at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
I just think there's no need to... Because it's Thursday night, so if you're playing on the Thursday, it's the recovery time and all that. I wouldn't be starting at anyone who's going to play in the cup game.
Yeah.
And I'd even be thinking twice about people who are going to be coming off the bench against United. So... Yeah, the problem is we're a little bit short on defenders who we can bring in.
Yeah,
so you kind of have to mix and match with the ones we've got, giving them like a half each or whatever. I mean, Kanate might be back for the United game, so if they're confident that he's going to be back for that, then you could play Kwanzaa on Thursday.
Gomez centre
and you
back,
could maybe play Gomez centre back if he's not playing full back, which maybe play Gomez centre back on Thursday, and then you've got Bradley and Robbo for United. Yeah, so I think rest as many players as you can rest, and don't take any risks. Learn your lesson from last week. We lost Kanate unnecessarily, so just
So after this United game, it's like the schedule's relentless after the international break, isn't it? It is literally going to be
2 a week,
Saturday, Thursday,
but hopefully
Sunday,
we get players back.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I think we might be taking that for granted. I don't think they're like particularly close, are they?
No, I think he's been dead cagey.
I think Alisson's still going to be out for a good while.
Yeah.
Trent I don't know. I don't think he's... Yeah, I don't think he's like
didn't he
on
say
the verge
Jota
of
will
going
play
back.
again this season at some point?
Yeah, but the initial report was like, wasn't it 2 months? Like from Portugal, like the reports came out to Portugal and they said like 2 months. So you're looking at getting him back for basically just like the run-in and like maybe the semis of the Europa if we're in that. And he's not going to be back after the international break.
In my head, Trent, Alisson and Jota are kind of like indefinitely not available.
And Curtis. I don't think
Curtis I'm thinking we might see Curtis sort of after the international break.
High ankle sprains are not good, Paul.
No, you were saying before, yeah.
I don't know about that. Like,
maybe not.
So the cavalry's probably not coming to our rescue. So we've just got to...
The cavalry's already here. It's the kids, isn't it? Yeah. The kids are the cavalry.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think rest as many as we can on Thursday, and then we'll have a strong team to put out against United, and no excuses for not beating them because they're fucking shit. Even when they win, they look shit. It's like there's nothing there for them, like I don't think there's anything for them to cling to. It's like even when they're getting results, you'd come away going, fucking hell, like they beat Everton yesterday. They needed 2 penalties to beat them, and they gave up 20 shots again. At home to Everton. Everton had 20 shots against them.
Who haven't got a centre forward.
Yeah, it's like so everything they did was like so unconvincing, and they got that point at Anfield, and even I thought we were poor on the day. Even like Klopp goes on about that was the turning point for us, with the counter press and all that. Maybe the counter press was fucking off the charts, but with the ball, it was poor. We let them off the hook. We could really do with those 2 points that we dropped there, So
did you see Anana's the only goalkeeper to have a clean sheet against Liverpool this season?
What's his name?
No.
That's terrible. Like that, because he's shit as well.
He's absolutely shite. Monty's fuming. Listen to this.
For
I
the
don't think
listeners,
he
Monty was telling us that Onana was world class.
I wouldn't go that far.
He did
He
say
always
that.
has a lot to do, though, doesn't he? He's like, he's under, I'd say, 20.
Stu's biding his time. He's going to come back hard on Anana at some point this season.
Yeah, the thing is with United, it's sort of like they've got to come out and have a bit of a go in that game. They're the home team and that, aren't they? So it's like, but maybe their fans in their current predicament would take like a backs to the wall counter-attacking type of win, where we have all the pressure or the ball, but as long as they win, they won't be bothered. That's just where they are at the moment.
But if they play like that and don't win,
yeah, that's it. They'll. But how do they approach that? Because if they come out and play, then it's going to be like pickings for us, isn't it? It's going to be sort of fill our boots kind of thing. You'd imagine.
I just think we've got the bit between our teeth now, and after dropping points to them at Anfield, I think we'll just go out there and dominate them. But I'm sure we'll probably talk more about that on Thursday night's pod, because I don't think we'll be talking too much about the game on Thursday night. That might be the shortest pod ever, that one. Anything else to add from today?
No, I think everything's been covered there, hasn't it? Yeah.
I think so, until we remember afterwards, oh shit, we didn't cover that. No, I think we've covered everything. I just want to say again how fucking great Enzo is. How much I love him.
Yeah.
Absolutely love him. What a guy. See, Lucas tweeted as something before about how great he was and how he controlled the game and all that, and I'm like, yeah, game knows game. Lucas loves that kind of player. That was what Lucas did. He was just a pure sit in the middle, destroy, pass it forward, just get yourself around the pitch. But Enzo just looks like a fucking world beater. So good, brilliant. So good. Brilliant. Love him. So unassuming as well, isn't he? Just gets on with his job. Just fucking brilliant. Yeah. Him and Maka.
Yeah, that late on in the game when he won that, he bombed forward and someone played a diagonal and he won a flick on, didn't he, for someone?
I think that was when
was it when
Gakpo
Cody messed up? Yeah, that's right, yeah. But yeah, he's just all action. Yeah, I just love watching him. He's so under the radar signing for what he's given us. Absolutely brilliant signing.
Because he's like the six, but I watched him there. It was he was in the middle of the park, and he seen where the space was, and he just ran into the space, and he was pointing. I can't remember who it was who had the ball, but he was pointing where he wanted it, and then it got played over the top, and then he won the header, and he got clattered as he won the header as well. Could have been brought back for a free kick, and then we could have done better there. We could have scored from it, but no, I just love him. I think he's brilliant. He's one of my favourite players. What a guy. And Maka as well, though. I mean, he's just getting better every game now, isn't he? He's been good all season, but he's just taking it to a different level now. It's every game he's just brilliant.
He's a seriously talented footballer. He's right up there with one of the best players in the league. I think he's fantastic. Yeah,
I had someone rang the radio up before, and they said he basically has made Enzo Fernandez's career, and he's made Caicedo's career. He's those players got bought for massive amounts of money because they look good playing next to Mac Allister, and you take Mac Allister away and they're exposed for what they are, and you look at what Mac Allister is. I'm not sure I'd go that far, but
it's not a wild shout though.
I did like it. I thought, you might.
It's not an outrageous argument.
You might be onto something there. Yeah, now I
think he's got captain vibes, Mac Allister as well.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. After Virgil.
Quite a few of them have as well, though, haven't he?
Yeah, I'd have no qualms about it.
He'll be captain of Argentina, I would have thought, when... Has Messi retired yet? He hasn't retired, has he?
No, not yet, I don't think.
When Messi retires, he'll be captain of Argentina.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just got that sort of, quiet authority about him, hasn't he?
Just watching his pen now, it's just popped up on Twitter. It's fucking great. And also, Ederson's absolutely wild challenge on Darwin. Fucking hell.
And if Darwin lands on his head... He just gets does a fucking somersault. Just wipes him out. Darwin was goosed when he got subbed as well.
Yeah, well, he took a knock, didn't he? Twatted his thigh against the post. in the first half.
Just before he got subbed, the City players were just passing the ball around him, and he was stood still. He couldn't move. He was getting his wind back after making a lung busting run, and you could see he's gassed. And he was saying to the bench, "Oh, I'm all right. I just need to get my breath back." But if he's coming back from a muscle injury and he's getting fatigued, it's like, no, you got to get him off. You can't take a chance.
The whole De Bruyne sub was a bit mad, wasn't it? He had a bit of a moan at Guardiola, didn't he?
Yeah, he wasn't happy, was he?
He wasn't really in the game, though, was he? I thought apart from the first 15 minutes, I don't think he got, on the turn and, running.
That's why he's pissed off. John Redkev, he wants to have a big game at the club he loves. You know what I mean?
But he was pretty ineffective, I thought, after the first 15, 20 minutes.
Agreed.
Yeah, he wasn't in the game at all.
Nah, when he was subbed, I'm like, fucking get back to the 90s with your stupid haircut, you twat. Fuck off. I hate all that Redkev stuff. He's a twat as well. He knows who he's playing for and where the fucking money comes from. Fuck him. He's just corrupt as the rest of them.
And on that happy note,
cheating bastards.
Do you know what? Last thing from me. Did you say it or somebody said it in the week? We need to get. I wanted it to be a cheating bastard show.
It was John.
Right,
so
thank you,
the
John.
Foden shit.
Exactly. Of all the things to chant, you can chant about the fucking cheating pricks, or you can talk about Phil Foden's ma. What the fuck?
I know. Why has no one ever come up with a witty chant about all the shit that they're up to?
Or just cheating bastards. You know what you are. Just do that. That'll do.
Yeah.
Doesn't even need to be witty.
Especially
just
the
rub
big
the
Sky
noses in
game.
it.
Imagine that coming over the telly. To title challenges, and that's coming loud over Sky kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just it's just no one's ever sang anything. It's like elephant in the room, isn't it? 115 charges, and it's just nothing seems to get sung or anything or said, and it's really frustrating. But so I wanted a really fucking loud cheat chant today. Early on the game. But just again, nothing. Just sing shite.
The only time that anything like that's ever been chanted is when they played Everton, and it was fucking City singing it to Everton, the cheeky bastards.
Fuck City.
Shameless.
Well, let's hope we've got the next couple of games we can start getting some wins together and get that run going now towards the title. We just need that winning momentum, I think, and we can build that.
Yeah. Big win over Brighton, and then see what happens in the City.
We play Sheffield United after that as well, so we've got to.
So get ourselves in the groove for that, and then fill our boots. Yeah,
I think you're right there, though, John. That Sheffield United game, that's where Arsenal made up their goal difference on us, really.
Yeah,
So
I know Arsenal
that's where we can get it back.
Sixes. Arsenal beat Burnley 6-0 away. But that's
let's hope we can do that.
Game. Yeah, but
as
you say, even Brighton, if we score early against them, it's the floodgates goes open. Could be. I think we'll win well. Brighton, to be honest with you.
It's after an international break, isn't it? It's the first game after the break, so it's not. See, if that was after a Europa League week, I think we'd take them to the cleaners because they have to make changes and they've not really done that very well. That's why they've struggled a bit this season. They've not been able to just keep playing the best team. But they should have a strong lineup for that, so it's probably not going to be the easiest of games. But I still think we'll handle them comfortably.
So that's the next league game, isn't it? We've got Sparta on Thursday. We've got the Manx in the Cup. Then it's the international weekend, and then it's Brighton. Yeah. So I'd like these next couple of games, a couple of good wins to go into that break, and then come back out ready to go for it again in the league.
I normally hate international breaks, but I just feel it's like the right time to have it now as well.
Yeah,
it just feels just settle down, breathe, and let's go again, and just go full pelt.
Absolutely right.
Back, Easter Sunday, and then it's relentless then.
And then you're right in it, aren't you? You're right in it then.
And hopefully get some players back at a timely moment.
Clocks have gone forward. The sun comes out a little bit warmer. Get that whole title run mood going.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Nice one.
All right, boys, good stuff. Think we've covered everything now. So, yeah, we'll be back after the second leg on Thursday night. So, until then, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you soon.
Well, the best word I can say, but will describe this was boom. Ooh, what was this? It was really good.